The CSS color data type is used to specify the color of an element on a web page. There are several ways to define a color in CSS. So, we have keywords. There are different keywords. We have green, red, blue. These are just normal predefined color keywords that you could have seen somewhere else. We have the hexadecimal, and these are defined using a hexadecimal value, such as hash. Normally they begin with this hash. Then you have 6 digits, and usually includes a letter to give more information. So you have FF0000 for red, and then you have green and blue. We also have RGB, the RGB function, and it takes 3 parameters for red, green, and blue values. Now we can mix this up to form different combinations and shades of colors. We have even RGBA. Now this is like RGB, but it has an additional parameter A for the alpha channel, or in other words, transparency. So let's say you have a color red. You can give a value to A, which is the alpha channel, to tell it how transparent this color should be. So you can make it more dense or transparent. We also have HSL, which is another way of displaying colors, and some others that we're not going into detail. But the most common are keywords, hexadecimal, and RGB. Background color accepts a color value. Here, we will explore ways we can define a color value. Our code has a paragraph which we will set a background color. At the moment, we're using the keyword method. Now, keywords are straightforward and easy to understand, especially when you want to use popular solid colors. So, our color is antique white. So it's a kind of, creamy shade. Now, another option is to use hexadecimal value, and each hex value consists of a hash symbol followed by a 6 hexadecimal number. Now, each of this number can take one of 16 values between 0 and F. You can read more on interpreting the values of hexadecimals if you wish to dive deeper. The first 2 characters represents the red channel, the second 2 represents the green channel, and the last 2 represents the blue channel. We also have the popular RGB. An RGB color value is another nice way to specify the color of an element, and we make use of red, green, and blue. Now, it is said that the RGB color model is an additive color model. What this means is that when the 3 colors are combined at full intensity, they create white light. But by varying the intensity of each of the primary colors, you can create a wide range of different colors. You can specify the RGB color value using the RGB function. And in the 3 parameters, you have the intensity of red, green, and blue channels, respectively. Now, each parameter should be between 0 and 255. 0 represents no intensity, and 255 represents full intensity. If all of them are at 255, just like we said earlier, it results in white light. In the WebStorm IDE, if I hover over the color icon on the left, I can see the color details, the hex, and the RGB values. The A after the RGB is for the alpha channel, or in simple terms, transparency. 100% means fully solid or opaque, and 0% means fully transparent. So you can have a wide range of transparency between this. So for example, 50% is the 50% transparency. We can edit the alpha channel, which will automatically add that to the code. But notice it changed the function from RGB to RGBA because it included the alpha channel. In the code, transparency is represented with a decimal number between 0 and 1. 0 is completely transparent, and the value of 1 is completely opaque. So it's still the same thing as percentage, just that in this sense, we're just using number. So at alpha 0.5, the color will have about 50% transparency. It will be slightly faded compared to the original full color. We also have HSL color. In CSS, the HSL color is a way to represent colors by specifying their hue, which is a value between 0 and 360, their saturation, and this is a percentage value between 0 and 100%, and lightness. It's also a percentage between 0 and 100%. We could use this to make it easier to select colors that are pleasing. We also have the HSLA, similar to the HSL, but the additional parameter represents the alpha channel, just like the RGB. So we can have the same color we saw, but with a transparency of about 48%.